There we go. Thanks, Greg. Lifesaver. I would have had to do this whole talk over again to record it. So good. Yes, so this is our agenda for today. And I'll try to stop also for Q&A as we go, but I'll probably talk for like the first 20 minutes straight. So if you do have questions as I'm talking, just pop them into the chat because there's other people here who can answer your questions sort of on the fly as I'm reviewing the material. So we're going to start with a director's welcome from Bob Blum.
Thanks, Melissa. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. It's super exciting to see you here at the launch of DP0 in our interim data facility on the Google Cloud, our Rubin Science Platform. We are very excited. This is the initial data preview. It's the beginning, basically, of our more than 10-year commitment to you to provide you with science opportunities like most of us have never seen before. And so this is the beginning. We're going to start giving you data products. These are initially data products that are simulated, but they look like Rubin data. And the system and the tools that you're going to see are the Rubin tools as they exist right now. We're learning a lot as we deploy this system. You're going to learn a lot, and we're going to learn a lot together working back and forth. So, you know, enjoy it, explore, ask questions. You are in super good hands with Melissa and team. They really know what they're doing, and they're going to give you a great experience. But please be patient. This is just the beginning. We're not done developing these tools and this system, and it will continue to evolve over the next data previews and then into data releases and on through the survey. This data preview and the associated platform and tools are the work of a lot of really dedicated, hardworking folks. I'm very proud of them, and I know they and I are both looking forward to our partnership with you as we go forward through the years. So this is the beginning, but enjoy and have a great experience here as we start off together. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for being here. And to follow up on that a little bit, to just show you some of the people who are excited to have you here. I wanted to show you, this is a community engagement team for Rubin Observatory. Be interacting with all of us during the live events and in our community forum over the next year or so of Data Preview 0. We really are looking forward to that. So in addition to myself, we have Greg and Tina here with us today. They'll be here helping you in the chat and helping you log in. And then also on the community engagement team, Jim, Alex, and Jeff are people you might meet and interact with over the coming months. In addition to the community engagement team, or the CET, I also wanted to show this as a representative of the very large team of Rubin staff who've been building the Rubin Science Platform that you're going to use, building the LSST science pipelines to process the data, and they're the ones who have made the DC2 data products available for you. They're also the ones who are also looking forward to your feedback, looking forward to your bug reports, all the things that you find, looking forward to seeing how you use the data, how you use all the tools that they've built. So some of these people also you may end up interacting with over the course of your DP0 participation. So I just wanted to start with a little intro to what is Rubin Observatory in case you're very new. So Rubin Observatory, it's currently being built in Chile. It'll have an 8.4 meter diameter primary mirror and a 9.6 square degree field of view camera with 6 filters, U, G, R, I, Z, and Y. When it is built, the Rubin Observatory will do the Legacy Survey of Space and Time. It's the new acronym for the LSST. And that's a 10-year Southern Sky survey that will make major advances in probing dark energy and dark matter, taking an inventory of the solar system, exploring the transient optical sky, and mapping the Milky Way. So altogether, the LSST will cover a third of the sky every night, a third of the visible sky each night, and detect billions of stars and galaxies and millions of transients, variables, and moving objects. So altogether, that LSST will build a data set of unprecedented volume and complexity, something so large that it will not be possible for you to download the entire LSST data set to your local computer. And all scientists will need a venue for next to the data analysis. And that venue is the Rubin Science Platform, or the RSP. That's a set of integrated web-based applications and services that are running at the Rubin Observatory Data Access Center. The RSP will include tools to query, visualize, subset, and analyze the full LSST data archives in a stable software environment that is located next to the data. The RSP also comes with storage space, compute resources, and remote access options for everyone. So it's this Rubin Science Platform that you're going to be using now. You're going to be using a current version of it to access the DP0 data products. And we'll talk a lot more about the RSP over the course of this talk. So that's what's coming, and data preview 0, how it fits in. DP0 is the first of 3 planned data previews between now and operations. And in particular, the goals of this first data preview are to enable the community to begin to prepare for early science with LSST data and also with the Rubin Science Platform. Another goal is to test the integration of the LSST science pipelines and the RSP. And from Reuben's perspective, to use feedback on RSP functionality from users to inform future development over the next couple of years. In order to achieve these goals, they adopted a DP0 dataset that is simulated LSST-like images and catalogs from the DESC, which is the Dark Energy Science Collaboration. These simulated images are from their Data Challenge 2, DC2. So you might at times hear the DP0 dataset referred to as the DC2 dataset. We're talking about the same thing in that case. Future data preview datasets, so data previews 1 and 2 that will happen over the future years, will be based instead on LSST commissioning data. So real data from the real sky will be used for those ones. And I also wanted to remind you that data preview 0 is long and has 2 phases. The first one, we're in the first phase now, DP0.1, and that's the DC2 dataset as processed by the desk, basically. And then DP0.2, which will sort of start in mid-2022, mid-next year, will be the DC2 dataset as reprocessed by Reuben Data Production using the most up-to-date version of their science pipelines. There's a couple of other differences between DP0.1 and 2 in terms of RSP functionality as well, but we'll cover all that later. Right now, we just want to focus on what's available for you for DP0.1. So just to go into a little more depth of what is the simulated data set, it includes simulated images over 300 square degrees of sky. That is a patch of the Wide, Fast, Deep survey for LSST. So the LSST survey will mostly cover, the whole southern sky on sort of a 3-day cadence. That's like a fiducial survey. And the DC2 data set is like 300 square degrees of that. What it does not include is any deep drilling fields. So if you're familiar with that term, you'll know that LSST, in addition to doing sort of the full sky, it'll also have several deep drilling fields where it'll get really deep images. But that kind of data is not included in the DP0 data set. So it's just 300 square degrees of like a region of sky. And also it's not simulated a full 10-year surveys, but just 5 years. So it's like 5 years worth of images over 300 square degrees of sky, with no deep drilling fields. The simulated astrophysical objects that went into these images include galaxies, which are distributed on the sky with some large scale structure, type 1a supernovae, and stars, 10% of which have some variability. The data products that you'll be interacting with are images and catalogs. And for the images, you'll have access to processed visit images, so like the single exposure or the single place in time, in space, and also the 5-year deep coads. So you'll have access to both of those imaging products. And then for the catalog data products, you'll have access to sources in those processed visit images, and then also all the objects that are detected in the deep coads as well. We'll review how to find that information about the data products. They're all in our DP0.1 data products definitions document, and I'll be showing you where to find that later on in this talk. So going back to the science platform, which is how you will access this DP0 data set, this is sort of what you would see. This is the landing page that later I'll show you how to point your browser at the RSP landing page, and that's what you would see there on the left. And then here in the middle and on the right are the portal aspect and the notebook aspect of the Rubin Science Platform, which are the 2 main ways that you'll be using to interact with the data. And I did want to point out that the notebook aspect in particular, The LSST science pipelines and many other common software packages for astronomy are already pre-installed in the notebook environment. So you don't have to do anything to your own laptop to use the Rubin Science Platform. You don't have to install any software packages or basically do any prep at all in order to start using the Rubin Science Platform. It'll just be a matter of pointing your browser at the right place, which I'll show you how to do, and then logging in and having access to the data right there. So we say here, I'm calling the Rubin Science Platform the DP0 era Rubin Science Platform, and that's because it is still in development and it's going to evolve a lot over the next couple of years, and the one that you use by the time we start operations might look different from the one that is now. So we do want to make sure that we're really clear about what those differences are, and really give you sort of a tour and a list of the things that you need to know in using the current version of the RSP, the DP0 era RSP. So as I mentioned, both the RSP and the LSST science pipelines are in active development. Software is going to evolve over the course of your DP0 participation over the next year as we fix bugs and expand packages and stuff like that. So the code that you write might require some maintenance over that time as things get updated, and on a little more rapid time scale than you might be useful. It kind of might be used to. So, and it kind of depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do like quite sophisticated things that use like the latest features in the science pipelines, you might find that you have to update a little more. So I just wanted to give a heads up on that. The other thing is that the DP0 era RSP offers, in some cases, limited functionality compared to what will be available in the operations era. This really is a preview of the Rubin Science Platform and a preview of what's to come. Your active use and feedback will be used to guide future development of the science pipelines and the Rubin Science Platform as well. Wanted to point out that there are some risks inherent in using the DP0 era RSP. For example, some data sharing safeguards are not in place. Compute resources are finite and they're shared by all users. We're going to review some of those risks, and I'll give you some details on that in the next slide. The final thing is, as Bob mentioned, Rubin staff, we're still limited in our capacity to provide support for RSP use during DP0. We do offer multiple venues for you to ask questions and report issues, which I'll go over later in this talk, each of those. But generally, just wanted to caution that answers and issue resolution might take some time. So it might not be like an instant response in some cases. It might take us a few days to either figure things out or to respond. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that as well. Digging a little deeper into RSP usage risks, here I have just some 5 points for you to keep in mind. And this is not the only place where these usage risks are listed. I'll show you where to find the permanent list of RSP risks in our website a little later in this talk. Well, one thing that you should always do when using the Rubin Science Platform, and in particular when using the notebook aspect of the Rubin Science Platform, is always safely shut down all of your notebooks when you're done using them, and fully log out of JupyterLab when you're done working. This frees up the space that you were using for other people, and is the safest way to use the notebook aspect. Another point is that bulk downloads of data from the RSP are not supported. We really want you to come and do your next to the data analysis, like you will have to in the operations era. If you're just interested in the DC2 data set and you just wanted copies of it, the desk has already made that available. They have a portal for access to the DC2 data. So if you do want copies of the DC2 data set, just let us know and I'll point you to where that portal is for downloads. The RSP, of course, has an acceptable use policy, very much as you would expect. Please use the RSP only to do science, science related to DP0 and Reuben Observatory, of course, and any other use could result in a loss of access, of course, standard thing. Once you are in the RSP and you're using the notebook aspect, you will find 3 different places to store your data products, either privately or in shared space. So I wanted to go over those. /home is your space for storing files that other users cannot see. So it's your home directory, very normal. /scratch is shared space for all. That's a good place to drop sort of temporary files, temporary data products, stuff that you've made that you want to share with other users. They'll be able to see it there, but that space is not backed up long term. So it's really should just be used for sort of temporary sharing. And then /project is the shared space, which everyone can access and use and see, but all of the files there are read-writable by all. So do take care when you are using that space. The fifth little piece of information is just for advanced Butler users. If you already know what the Butler is and have been using it, please take note that there are no global read-write or write-delete restrictions, and avoid disaster by only writing to your own named collections. And if you name your collections with your own name, there'll be very low probability that anyone would accidentally overwrite what you've done, or that you would overwrite someone else's work. So that's just if you're an advanced Butler user. So far we've heard about DP0 goals, the data set, the Rubin Science Platform and the version of it that you'll be using for your DP0 access. And so I wanted to come back and sort of talk a little bit more about your role in Data Preview 0. So you are all Data Preview 0 delegates, and that means you're a scientist or student who is given an account in the RSP at the interim data facility, the IDF, which is the Google Cloud. So you might hear those terms used. And using this account, this RSP account, you are able to access the DP0 data set. So that is like the definition of a DP0 delegate. We chose the term delegate to reflect your role of representing the broad science community as learners and testers and providers of feedback, and also to represent your role of sharing the benefits of DP0 participation back with your communities as teachers and colleagues. Over the full course of DP0, there will be 300 participants. It's limited to 300 because the Reuben pre-operations team, as I mentioned, has limited ability to provide support for services that are still in development, and we really need to scale up in a safe and sustainable way. This 300 number is about an order of magnitude increase over the about 30 people who are using an even earlier version of the Rubin Science Platform at the NCSA. So kind of increasing by an order of magnitude. And I also wanted to note that about 25% of that 300 accounts have been held back to be allocated for DP0.2 in mid next year. So if you are talking with other people about your DP0 participation and they get interested, do let them know that there'll be another opportunity for them to apply and come and participate next year as well. So there are only a couple of sort of expectations for DP0 delegates. One is to be aware of the usage risks in the RSP's active development environment, which we kind of already touched on the basics. We do expect you to come use your RSP account, explore it, access and analyze the DP0 data set. And then later, if you find that you're no longer using it or the data set like really isn't useful for your science and you're not going to really use it anymore, let us know, because we can reallocate your account to other people and give them a sort of a chance to come and play as well. So as you go, do use all the documentation and tutorials that I'm about to show you to learn to use the RSP. Please do report bugs and issues when you find them. That helps us achieve the goals of Data Preview 0. But otherwise, feel totally welcome to do your own DP0 related science at your own pace. Interact via the community forum and in the bi-weekly delegate assemblies that I'll tell you more about in the coming slides. And then please also consider choosing a delegate activity to do for Data Preview 0, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about now. So these delegate activities, we just sort of made a list of things that people can do, these simple activities that people can take on that will inform and improve the development of the Rubin Science Platform or extend and enhance the benefits of DP0 within the science community. So these are all just sort of examples of stuff you can do as part of your Data Preview 0 participation. One of them is submitting bug reports, as I mentioned before. Later on, we might have calls to test new features as they come out in the Rubin Science Platform. So please, if you're interested in any of those, respond and help us out. Later, we'll have feedback surveys. Please do consider filling them out when we send them around. It's very helpful for us to get the feedback. And as you go, please post examples of your DP0 related work in the community forum. Just sort of share what you're working on and show it to other people. And in terms of extending or enhancing the benefits of DP0 in the science community, if you haven't already, consider joining one of the 8 LSSD science collaborations. Come and converse discuss with us in the community forum. Every question asked and every sort of reply given just sort of builds up our reservoir of expertise that's there in a searchable way for people to use. Please consider participating in the DP0 Delegate Assemblies, which I'll tell you more about in a bit. That's the programming that we have for you over the next couple of months. We also have made a shared GitHub repository for all delegates to use to share if you like make a cool notebook or you make your own tutorial for how to do something and you want to share it with other delegates. We have a shared repository for you, which I'll show you later as well, that you can use. And also please consider sharing your DP0 related work outside of DP0. So back in your, give a seminar at your home institution, publish your work, all that kind of stuff is all great activities to be doing related to Data Preview 0. So more about these live sessions that I've been telling you about. So we have delegate assemblies, which we've planned to be bi-weekly on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. US Pacific time. And these will always have a format of sort of 2 separate hours during the assemblies, where the first hour is always a formal presentation with Q&A. And these will usually be some kind of hands-on demonstration or tutorial by Rubin staff that illustrates or provides an example for how to use some aspect of the Rubin Science Platform or some aspect of the LSSD science pipelines. So we'll always have that. That will always be recorded and available as well. So that in case you can't attend that time slot, you can still do the tutorial or the demo. The second hour of all of our delegate assemblies will be time for breakouts with discussion time. This will always include like office hours for Q&A with Reuben staff, so you can come and whatever it is that you've been trying to work on, if you're having problems or issues, you can come and get live support at that time. We also hope that some grassroots DP0 science working groups and collaborative projects will spring up. For example, I might start one that will build a couple of notebooks to do Host Galaxy Association for transients in DP0 or something like that. And we might get together and work in a breakout room on some notebooks for that or something like that. So we're hoping that people will come and like make working groups. During the second hours where we might also have time to demo really new features in the RSP or, give highlights or previews of some of that active development that I was telling you about. So everyone's welcome to attend one or both hours. And the schedule and connection info are available at the 2 links that are in the upper right corner of this slide there. Since bi-weekly on Friday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. US Pacific time is not very good for our colleagues in Australia and Asia, we're also having a third Thursdays sort of drop-in session. It'll be monthly on the third Thursday of every month at 9 a.m. Sydney time, which is the Wednesday at 4 p.m. US Pacific time. This will be really like a drop-in office hour for whatever people who show up to the third Thursday want to talk about. So we'll do live support with Q&A. We can do a live run through of any of our tutorial notebooks that people want to see, or we can treat it like a working group. So it'll sort of be whatever people who show up need to do in that time. So far, we've got the Thursdays of July 15th, August 19th, and September 16th for those. And then if there's good attendance and people are liking this third Thursday drop-in session thing and it's useful, we'll keep doing it after those first 3 months. There's another opportunity. So opposite the delegate assemblies, something called Stat Club will continue to meet on Fridays at 9 to 11 a.m. US Pacific. Stat Club, where STAC is like the colloquial term for the LSSD science pipelines. And Stat Club is a group of individuals who've been working on building tutorials for the LSSD science pipelines over the last couple of years. They meet up and co-work together on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. and DP0 delegates are very welcome to join this Zoom session and co-work with Stat Club people during this time slot. It's nice if you like to have live support while you're working or if you want to work with other people. All that happens in the Stat Club meetings that people show up, we usually do a round table and people say what it is they're interested in working on that day or the problem that they're having that they're trying to solve. And then sometimes we pair up and work in breakout rooms. Sometimes we just work on our own where periodically people will unmute and ask questions and we'll help each other. And then sort of getting close to the end of that 2 hours, well, we come back and we just give little reports to say the problems that we solved, the things we learned, that kind of stuff. So if you like that kind of co-working hack session type environment, you might like to join the Stack Club meetings on the Friday mornings as well. So all of this is here for you. I'll show you where to find the delegate assemblies, information and stuff in our website. And how to connect. It's the same Zoom room that you're in right now that we use for all of these things. So you can easily connect at any time. So that was a lot of information that I just gave you. So I wanted to pause now and check the chat for questions. No questions have come up, but I'll just be quiet for a moment and let any questions arise.
Melissa, I'm just wondering about the Stack Club and how many people are attending that.
Stack Club has sort of, ebbed and flowed over the course. I think we have like about 20 or 30 members, but they don't come to every time. So at the moment, it's maybe more like, lately we've had maybe 5 to 10 people.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, but it kind of ebbs and flows. But right now there's only sort of 30 real members of Stack Club total.
If you had real questions about trying to develop something, would that be a place to come to?
It's a great place to try. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's often Reuben staff on hand. We are there most of the time. And if we can't answer your question, we'll try to track it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, JJ. Laura, you have a question?
Yes. So it's Laura from Italy. So I think you mentioned that in case we have the need to access just the data, the raw data without accessing the science platform, we can do that even though we are not delegates. I'm asking because there is a student now who won the enabling science LSS with the LSSD call, but he is also in Italy, so he doesn't have. It's not. It was like the call was later than the subscription to the DP0. So I was wondering if, in case he only needs to access the images and not the science platform, is there a possibility or?
Oh, if it's so, I think the desk has made the catalogs available. I'm not sure if they made the images available, but we will point you at the portal for the desks for the desk data release.
Okay, so we can directly to them if it's possible to download the.
Yeah, it'll say in the desk data release note. Actually. Oh, I forget if that is, let me just find it for you actually.
Hi, Laura. This is Michael Woodvasey, loosely representing desk. I mean, if you just need a couple of images, that's totally fine. If you need access to all of the pixels, the easiest way to do that is to get a NERSC account. I mean, just because it's, terabytes. But feel free to follow up with me and Melissa, and we can see what makes the most sense.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I just popped a link to the desk's data release note in the chat as well. So that'll tell you more about what desk has released and how to access it. And then I saw, let's see, someone wants to know where to get the slides. I can show you that. It's in the, so probably at some point you saw the invitation to join these sessions. It's in the community forum, and I've put a link to the slides are in this thread here. So you'll be able to get them from there. Drop that link in the chat for the slides. And will we use the same NERSC environment? The Rubin Science Platform is not at NERSC. It's different. So, and I'll be showing that to you in a bit. It's not the same as NERSC. It's also the data is also not formatted in the same way that if you're used to accessing it at NERSC, like if you're a desk member who's been accessing the DC2 data set at NERSC, it is a bit different. Notebooks do not support our programming right now. It's all Python. The code environment is all Python in the notebook aspect at the moment. Okay, I'm going to keep going with the presentation for now, but keep asking your questions in the chat as we go. It's fine. Where were we? Yes. So now I want to show you how to find all of the documentation related to Data Preview 0. And here you can open in your browser the documentation and follow along as we go. So if you open your browser and you point it at dp0-1.lsst.io, this is the main page for all DP0 related documentation. So if you go there, you can all still see my screen, right? I don't have the, yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, the green barrier is gone. So dp0-1.lsst.io will take you here. And this has the page of all the documentation related to Data Preview 0. First, the DP0 Delegates homepage is here right at the top. It's got everything you need to know about getting RSP accounts, what is the community forum and how to access it, the kickoff sessions, you're already here, everything about the delegate assemblies that I told you about, including the schedule and the connection information, it's all here. The third Thursdays, the Stack Club, more information, connection information, also here on this website. All the guidelines and expectations that I already told you about. The suggested delegate activities that I told you about are here as well. And then when you do need support and you have questions, this tells you about the different support venues, which I'm going to show you more about later in this talk as well. All of that is here. So it's sort of like your main page for all delegate related stuff for DP0. We also have the DP0.1 data products definitions document that I told you about before. This is the page that tells you more about the images you have access to, both the process visit images and the co-added images, and then also the catalogs that you have access to via the portal and via the notebooks, and all the schema for the catalogs are here as well. So you can come and look and see what columns are available in the different catalogs and tables that you have access to for DP0. That's all there. Under the DP0.1 data access and analysis tools, it's on this page is going to tell you more about the risks and responsibilities that we discussed before. So especially this page is a good one to review all the stuff I had told you before about the different areas for storing your data. It's all available here as well. So you can see it, all the currently missing features in the DP0-era RSP are listed here for you too. And if you keep scrolling down on this page, you'll see more information about the Rubin Science Platform. And in particular, here are the user guides for both the portal aspect and the notebook aspect are both here. So these will take you through step by step how to log in, what all of these different boxes mean, how to do a search in the portal, how to make a plot, real step-by-step user guides for both the portal and then also the notebook aspect. How to start a server, how to choose a server, logging in, what it looks like when you first log into the notebook aspect, what is a notebook, how to run a notebook, those are also in here as well, how to log out safely, as I mentioned before, and then a lot of other details about using the notebooks are all here for you. So as you get started in the Rubin Science Platform, these are good pages to have open right next to you as you work through it. Once you've sort of got yourself up and running and you're able to log in and use both aspects, you might be interested in some of the tutorials that we've made. So down at the bottom, there's 2 tutorials for using the portal, and they sort of take you through also step by step, but doing a little more complicated and advanced searches and queries within the portal and making a little more advanced science-like plots. And then the Jupyter Notebook tutorials that we have made will be available for you when you log in to the notebook aspect. There will be a directory that has the notebook tutorials there already for you. They're also in So this link goes to the Reuben-DP0 GitHub organization, and it goes to the tutorial notebooks repository, and they're listed here as well, but you don't have to take these and download them. They'll be there for you already in your home directory in the notebook aspect. So this whole page, dp0-1.lsst.io, is your home base pretty much for all things related to DP0. And that covers all of that. And then, so in addition to the dp0-1.lsst.io webpage, the other webpage that you'll most commonly be using is community.lsst.org. So this is another case where you can, if you have a browser open it up, point it at community.lsst.org, and you can follow along with this little guided tour that I'm going to give you of the community forum. I'm going to show you sort of how to use it a little bit. So wherever you end up in the community forum, you can always click on the logo at upper left, and it will take you back to the main landing page for the community forum. When you're here, this banner up at the top, you can expand it and collapse it. This banner has information about how to use the community forum on the left. In the center are some of the most popular categories and popular places that people are discussing things about Reuben Observatory. And then over on the right are a bunch of external links, for example, back to the Reuben Observatory for Scientists page. So this banner is always here for you with this information, but you can collapse it so it's not in your way. In the left-hand column, we have all of the categories for discussion in our community forum are here. And then on the right-hand side are recently posted topics that people have recently posted sort of in a list here on the right-hand side. You can navigate through categories using the left-hand menu here by just sort of clicking on whichever category is interesting to you. For example, the Data Preview 0 under support. You can also navigate through categories using the drop-down menu here up at the top. And you can also just search for all posts, no matter what category they're in, that have a certain tag. So for example, if you wanted to find all the topics that have ever been posted about DP0, you can use that tag and you will find them all, no matter what category they're in. So you can navigate by clicking, by using the categories and tags, or by searching, which you saw me do earlier when I was looking for the kickoff info sessions. So you can search the forum by clicking on the magnifying glass up the top and then entering any kind of, any kind of search term that you want, and it will find you, relevant posts about that thing. Or if you have a question, you can put that question in here too to see if somebody else has had the same question before. Maybe it already has an answer. So here, so now we've done a search for DP0 data set. We've come up with this one, and well, this isn't a good example. So let's look at this. This is a topic post. Somebody has asked a question. There's something that they're having a problem with. They've provided a link to the thing that they're trying to do and commented on the trouble that they're trying to have. So this is one topic like this. It's a topic post. You might hear post or thread is also used to describe these. And then topics can have replies. So down here, there are replies on this topic. So that's like the terminology that we use. Is one topic is a single post with a question, and then people also post replies. So I wanted to show you also the most relevant categories for Data Preview 0 delegates are these two right here under support. One is just called Data Preview 0, and it's for, this category is just for all general science related questions about Data Preview 0. So what is in the data sets, questions about the data themselves, questions about how to use the LSST science pipelines or different aspects of the Rubin Science Platform to analyze the Data Preview 0 data sets. When you make a cool plot that you want to share with others, you can post it here as well. Pretty much any and all questions about the data set or doing science with Data Preview 0. This other category here that's called DP0 RSP service issues, and it's got a little open lock symbol there because this category is only visible to Data Preview 0 delegates who are in the DP0 Delegates group in the community forum. This is more for like transient service issues, weird things you encounter in the Rubin Science Platform that you want to ask a question like, hey, yesterday I was working, right now I'm getting a 403 error. Does anyone else see this error? Is it my problem? Is it a global service outage? Questions like this, things that you're not really sure whether or not it's a question. It might be a transient thing, and you're not sure whether it's a real issue, if other people are seeing it or not. That's the category to use for all of that kind of small things, like tiny little posts, easy little questions, all go in there. And they're just visible to other delegates and also the forum moderators. So we see it as well. So if you are experiencing some issue and you're not sure if it's a real problem or not, we'll see your post and we can go check it out in real time and respond. So it's more for like real-time stuff. Yes, so that's sort of an overview of the community forum and how it works. The last thing I want to show you is that up at the upper right, your picture, if you click on it, you see all of your recent notifications. You can get to your direct messages by using that envelope icon, and you can access your user profile by clicking on the little person icon there, and you can access your preferences, change your picture, see which groups you're a member of, all that kind of stuff. For the alarm bell there, that's when you get notifications, you get either like a little message pop up in the upper right of your screen when you're logged into the community forum, or you can get an email. And notifications, you can set what you get notifications about, so what you are emailed about. For example, if you want to get a message every time someone posts in the Support Data Preview 0 category, you can set your status for this category using the bell icon over here. You can set your status, your notification status for this category to, watching if you want to be alerted about everything that happens, all the way down to muted if you never want a notification from that category. And I think the standard is normal, as in you're only ever notified if someone mentions you by name in a given place. So you can set your notification levels that way in the community forum again, which can be really handy if you want to stay engaged. That is our tour of community.lsst.org, the community forum. We went over the support in the community forum, the 2 categories that are there for you to ask questions and help each other out, and also get help from Reuben's staff. If you do run into a problem that's like clear, it's a bug, you're pretty sure it's a bug, it's a problem that doesn't go away within 5 seconds, it doesn't go away if you do a log out, log in, or refresh, like you try sort of the basic things, you're still encountering this issue, a couple minutes later, or you do need assistance from Reuben's staff with something like the connection problems, authentication issues, a change in behavior of any RSP functionality, like if there's been an update and there's something that used to work for you and now it doesn't. These are all things to submit a bug report about. So I'm going to show you right now how to submit a GitHub issue bug report. And these are things that Reuben staff definitely always see. We respond to pretty quickly to help you out. So you can open your browser and follow along by pointing it to github.com/Reuben-dp0/support. And if I go there, so main page for our GitHub org, support is a repo, a repository in there. If you go there up at upper left, you'll see an issues button. We want to make a new issue, so you choose new issue. Most of the time it's going to be a bug report that you're here to submit, so get started. And then you will arrive at this page where it'll ask you for a title for your bug report, and then a template is provided. So this is just something you fill in, and it prompts you to give the information that we would need in order to help address the bug that you found or the issue that you're having. You can also apply labels over on the right here. You can choose what the label is about, like if you found that some piece of RSP functionality doesn't work as described in the documentation anymore, maybe it's a documentation problem. So you can apply that label and then submit new issue. So please feel 100% free to use this, submit bug reports. We find it incredibly useful to have this feedback from people in the GitHub issues bug reports. So that is there for you as well to get support. I also want to make sure everyone is clear that there is a code of conduct and that there is support for violations for the code of conduct. So a code of conduct, bullying and harassment will not be tolerated. Research inclusion and collaborative work must not be impeded by poor behavior. Discussion should be constructive and civil at all times. That's basically what the code of conduct says. And if you experience or witness a violation of the code of conduct in the community forum, please flag the post. I'm going to show you now how to flag a post in the community forum. Let's use this one as an example. So say that this was like a question or a response that was very rude and or inappropriate in some way. Under every single post in the community forum is a little flag icon. When you click that flag icon, you are presented with several options, the different types of flags that you can use. Either it's off topic, it's inappropriate, which would be the one you would be choosing if it was a violation of the code of conduct. It's spam if you find someone advertising their business or something in the community forum or something else. So you just pick whichever one it is and then click flag the post. And what happens once you flag the post is that community forum moderators can see that you have flagged it, and they will be alerted to go and look at that post, and then we will take action on your behalf, either removing the post, contacting the poster and asking them to change it, or in the worst case scenarios, removing the poster from the community forum. The person who made the original post doesn't know that you've flagged it. And once either one moderator has flagged the post, or I think 5 users have flagged a given post, the post disappears. So please go ahead and use this flagging system. It's there for us to use to keep our forum civil and useful. If, on the other hand, you experience or witness a violation of the code of conduct in a live session, please reach out to Sandrine Thomas. She's one of the Reuben Observatory workplace culture advocates who have volunteered to be the contact for all DP0. As we go, you can find her contact information on our project website with the link that's given here. And also, of course, at any time, please feel free to reach out to any of the community engagement team members as well. We are here to help you. One other way to get support, not just for Data Preview 0, but for all your Reuben and LSST related work, is to join one of these 8 science collaborations. All DP0 delegates are welcome to join. Together, the science collaborations work to train themselves, educate themselves, prepare for LSST science. They collaborate on software development. They get together to seek fundraising for their teams to fundraise their science. And they provide expert advice and analysis to Rubin Observatory as well. And in particular, I wanted to alert you to a program that the science collaborations are just starting up right now to go with Data Preview 0. And it's like a partnership program where they're looking to pair their long-term science collaboration members with new to Rubin scientists and students, especially those from small or underserved US institutions, just to sort of have a single point of contact. So to get people who are new to Reuben to have also like a new friend in the science collaborations to answer all their questions and to make sure that they, the new person sort of is aware of different activities and stuff that would be of interest to them. So for now, just contact me via direct message or email if you're interested in that, but also keep an eye out for future advertising. So we'll be posting more about this program in the coming weeks. So now, how to actually get into the Rubin Science Platform. The most important thing to keep in mind is that you do have to accept the email invitation to join the GitHub organization's Rubin-DP0 org. And in particular, there's a team within that organization called Delegates that your GitHub account has to be associated with. You have to be a member of that before logging into the Science Platform will work. But if you've already accepted that GitHub invite, you can use any web browser that's also logged into GitHub or knows about your GitHub, and you can navigate to data.lsst.cloud. And when you get there, this center picture will be the the form that you see. And when you navigate there for the first time to data.lsst.cloud, that's the URL that you would put into your browser to get there. You'll see the login button at upper right, and you would click that. And the first time that you do, for first time Rubin Science Platform login, you will have to authorize Rubin Science Platform IDF production environment to use your GitHub to be added to your GitHub to give you access. So you would get this pop-up window that looks like this, and down at the bottom, you will see a green box that says authorize LSST-SQRE, and that's the button that you have to click to have your Rubin Science Platform access authorized. And that'll just be a one-time thing. And I'm going to show you then what it will look like when you do that. So regular browser, go to data.lsst.cloud. That's how you get to this page. And up at upper right, it already knows who I am. So when I click login, it's just going to log me in. And now it has my username up in the upper right corner. And now that I'm logged in on the landing page, I can just click on portal or notebooks to enter either the portal or notebooks aspect. So here, if I click on portal, it starts up my portal access, where I can access the different catalogs that are available via the portal, and I can do different kinds of searches through the portal. If, on the other hand, I wanted to access the DP0 data with Jupyter Notebooks, I would click on the notebooks, the center panel. And this usually takes a bit longer than the portal to start up. This is the first page that you see. You choose a server. Choosing a medium server is a really good default. This is sort of the size of the an amount of computational resources that you will have in the notebook aspect. And then you click start, and it starts up your server at the interim data facility. And this part does usually it can take like a minute or two to get started up. So just gonna let that go. And I will say that if anyone is having trouble accessing or has any questions, now is the time to sort of put them in the chat, or you can unmute and ask your questions as the server starts up here. When I click portal or notebooks, I get a 500 error. Okay, I should check that you are listed on in our GitHub org, teams, delegates team. The first thing I'm going to check is that we have your access set up. Team members. See if we have oh, interesting. Okay. So we do have you there. This could be I wonder if the 500 internal server error is related to a bad token. Okay, so for Marta, I can see that you're a member of the delegates team, so you should have access. So we will follow up on that 500 server error in a moment. And then same, Cristobal, you should also have access because you are there. What might be the issue is you might have a bad token, which can happen if you tried to log in to the Rubin Science Platform before you accepted the GitHub invite. You will have a bad token which you need to revoke. So it kind of like it connected to your GitHub, like data.lsst.cloud connected to your GitHub, but without the correct authentication. So you can't actually get any further than that.
It might be the same kind of thing as we had yesterday. So you might have to clear a cache on your browser.
Oh, I didn't realize clearing cache was something.
I'm not sure if that's what it was exactly, but there is something having to do with having to log out, get rid of the instance of browser, and then restart it again.
Yes, yeah, it wasn't related to cache. It was clearing the token. I'm going to put some instructions. I'm going to link you to instructions on how to do that. So this is something that people have encountered already. I'm going to link you directly to these instructions. So if you're having trouble, follow the instructions that are here, which is basically to log out and then go to your GitHub account and revoke the token that you had got before, and then try again. So follow these instructions. Yeah,
Melissa,
that.
I was hoping to have 2 or 3 students looking at this data as well with me. Is that, first of all, is that possible? And if so, how we could do it?
So everyone with an RSP account had to apply to be a DP0 delegate. Even students had to apply to be one. So we don't have extra accounts now for students. There will be more accounts become available next year for DP0.2, but we don't have any more right now. Yeah, so they would have had to apply to be a delegate. Okay, so we're trying to fix login problems with this. Oh, the site is loading very slowly from other places. That is...
Yeah, mine took several minutes, a couple of minutes actually.
Mine was slow a minute ago. It might just be the system. I don't know. It was really slow when I started up.
But like, what was slow? Which step? Loading the landing page or getting into the notebooks?
Getting into the notebooks.
Okay, same for, I forget who commented. Was
Felipe.
it Felipe? Yeah.
Felipe. Yeah, same. You know, the blue line took forever.
Yep, but like a couple of minutes is normal. That's a normal amount of time. 5 minutes is a little on the long side. I see 1 to 2 minutes, but we may have just, if there's multiple people, it can slow down. So if we're all trying to do it at the same time, it might be a little slower. If you ever find that it's like more than 4 or 5 minutes, that sounds like we're getting into bug report territory. So if it ever takes longer than that, that might be something we should look into. So yeah, thanks for reporting that. Okay, I'm seeing that some people have been able to get into their server. Wonderful. So for those of you who are here, I'll just show you really quick. This is the main landing page that you'll always see when you come in. And probably the first thing that you'll want to do is to find those tutorial notebooks, which I said were in your home directory. This is your home directory structure is over here. And if you click on the notebooks directory, you will find the tutorial notebooks directory is in here. And these are all the ones that we've prepared for you. And in particular, the very first one shows you and tells you like how to use a notebook in the first place, what it is, how it works. And then it goes through and it does some basic data access to access a DP0 image and a DP0 catalog as an example. So you'll want to start with the number 1 there. So that should get you started. I think since we're at the top of the hour, I'll say that formally, presentation is over, kickoff session is done. Thank you very much for coming here, and thank you for participating in Data Preview 0 and all of the feedback that you're going to give us over the next couple of months. We're really looking forward to it. Thank you also for doing all the action items that I sent to you and for doing them quickly. I really appreciated all the fast responses we got. We're gonna stay online until sort of everyone's issues have been resolved. But go ahead and log off if you have no issues and you're up and running. And if you do have some issues, we'll stay here and help you for a while. So thanks everybody. And remember, the first delegate assembly is Friday, July 16th. Okay, Marta, we're gonna help you out right now. And, oh, Sherry, I see your question for server options, always choosing a medium server should be fine. Sometimes if you want to do like really intense visualization with really large catalogs, you want to pick a large server. But for all of our tutorial notebooks, for example, so as you get started, medium will always suffice.
Thanks a lot, Melissa. I just also saw a response from Greg. Thanks.
Oh, okay, great, wonderful.
Thank you both.
And thank you for being here.
Thanks for organizing this and the presentation. It was great.
Okay, good, good, good. I'm glad it was useful. Glad people are getting logged in.
We can probably stop recording at this point, Melissa, don't you think?
Yep, I think so.